What's going on, Assassins? It's Darkstrider, the YouTube Assassin. And as you all know, I've been doing this series called A Look Back, in which I'm showing you the older Assassin's Creed games. And one of the things that I do is I research the reception of the game. And in doing that, a lot of weird things have happened. So when I researched Unity, I noticed a couple of similarities between Unity and Valhalla. Most notably, it was the same studio that created both. Now, when Unity released, there were a lot of problems with the game, kind of like we're experiencing now with Valhalla. However, back then in 2014, they were able to fix the game after a certain point. Right now, Valhalla is still not fixed 8 months after the game has released. We're already 8.5 months right now. So one of the craziest things is, in order to apologize, Ubisoft actually gave compensation. So they gave the very first DLC out for free. And if you already had the season pass, they weren't going to refund you the season pass, but they gave you one of 6 Ubisoft games: Assassin's Creed 4, The Crew, Far Cry 4, Just Dance 2015, Rayman Legends, or Watch Dogs. You got one of those for absolutely free. I don't know how you redeemed it, if you were given a code or whatever, but regardless, you did get some sort of compensation. So why aren't we getting that now? Even CD Projekt Red, with their disastrous Cyberpunk 2077, what they ended up doing was giving you a refund. They refunded you, and after refunding you, you still got to keep the game. So, I mean, that's a kind of worst case scenario. And we had a period where even PlayStation took it off of their store. That's really kind of crazy. But Sony PlayStation actually refunded people because CD Projekt Red said that they would make good on that. And Sony normally does not refund unless you haven't even touched that game. So that was just, by the will of the gods that you were able to get that refund. But again, that game was pretty disastrous, which Valhalla is pretty disastrous in its own right. Every time that we get a new update, the game breaks further and further. Some people are still unable to play the game. Others just can't get to certain parts. They're afraid to even turn the game on out of fear that the game will just delete everything that they've done. And I don't blame them. But what I want to know is, why aren't we being compensated for this game? You notice that Ubisoft hasn't said anything at all about any sort of compensation. Now, you can argue the fact that, hey, listen, they're giving us free content and everything. I get that, but you know what? As far as the free content goes, originally that's what they promised, because what they wanted to do was extend the life of the game. They wanted you to keep playing the game. It looks good for investors, and it looks good for their bottom line when you are constantly playing the game. That's why they really want you online most of the time when you're playing these games. Not just to collect opals, the dailies, the weeklies and stuff. They also really, really want to track that progress because it looks good. Hey, look, everybody's going to buy the next game because this game was so popular that people spent on average X amount of hours per day, per week, per month, year, etc. And it just looks good. So now, what's happening when it's not looking good? What's happening when we have all these errors? And I know all the time there's always going to be somebody, a couple of people, who will come into the comments and they'll say, hey, I never experienced those errors. I only experienced one error. I've never seen anything that happened like that. It only happens on a freaking PlayStation, or it only happens on an Xbox. It only happens on PC. I play on an electronic pregnancy test. I have the Piss Stick 5, and it works perfectly if you play it when, Jupiter is in alignment with the sun. And, you hear nothing but excuses and whatnot, and there's no need to defend Ubisoft. There is no need to come out and defend them for problems that you don't have. Certain people who played on Cyberpunk, if they played on a certain system, they played on PC, they played on their console, they played on a PS4 Pro or anything like that, a newer system, they didn't run into a lot of problems, if any. And people who had a base PS4, a base Xbox One, they're the ones that had all the issues, all the problems. And it's still carried on to like the last gen consoles. Next gen consoles, you really didn't have any problems. I remember playing the game Cyberpunk on my PS5, and I did have some glitches. I did have people floating, and like the car was up in the air, weird things like that, but nothing game breaking like a lot of those videos that I saw. But I didn't feel that I needed to be compensated for that game. I didn't feel that like I needed a refund or anything like that. I could have gotten a refund, but you know, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to get it. If you got a refund, I'm not going to judge you whether or not you had a next gen system, a PC or whatever. I can't judge you, honestly. I can't. But what I'm saying is that it does not matter what you think is going on. The fact of the matter is that people are having issues. I'm having issues. You see my gameplay. It every once in a while has a pop-up that shows error saving the game. And that's a fact. That's the actual error. I'm not doing anything. A couple of people have accused me of like taking the footage and doctoring it up by adding that. No, it's not like that. If you think that, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. This is actually their glitches. This is the errors that they've got going on. They'll fix the Helix store if it's broken. They'll fix all manner of other things. They'll fix any glitches that benefit the player, but they won't fix what's going on in the game, or they try to fix it and nothing's happening. Now, I know a lot of people have said that there have been several studios or little sub portions that worked on this game. So it's a situation where one group doesn't know what the other group is doing, or they thought that they fixed the other group's work, so forth and so on. I don't know. Either way, this game is a mess. They need to compensate us. They should compensate us. And honestly, I would not be shocked if they just completely scrapped this game and started from scratch to fix all the errors, because we are going on 9 months. 9 months. That's 3/4 of the year. The game is not fixed. We're still playing a broken game. We're still beta testing it. That's crazy. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that they should compensate us? Do you think that we should wait? Do you think that it's not worth it? Or do you think that we just shouldn't play it at all? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, including any extra glitches that you may be running into. Other than that, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and you subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one. You know how we end this, and we better get that money. They better compensate us.
Yeah, yeah.